exploring Hickory Run State Park in the first part of a series on state parks in the Poconos, plus the new trail connecting the Big Lake and downtown Hawley coming online in 2025. Remembering a river icon, Queen of the Delaware Ruth Jones, and a new Pocono showcase featuring the talents of Regina Sales.
How to relax and what's on tap with Bree and Dee. A look inside the newest spot on Stroudsburg's art scene. The major milestone reached in preserving African American history. The sustainability efforts underway at this world-class resort. And meet the team creating lasting love stories in the Pocono Mountains.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the March episode of Pocono Mountains Magazine. As winter comes to an end, spring is on its way.
We're along the beautiful Delaware River, where in just a few minutes we're going to warm up inside the historic Shawnee Inn and Golf Resort for a girls' getaway. You don't want to miss it.
But first, you may be wondering where our co-host Jim is. We're going to head over to another scenic location in the Poconos where Jim's kicking off a new series this month, so we'll see you back here in a bit.
We are here at the Hickory Run State Park Visitor Center and Office. This is a pretty new facility, and right here, this map outlines all the great features of Hickory Run State Park, including Shades of Death Trail. Over there's Boulder Field, we'll get to those in just a little bit, and the Lehigh River, as well as Lehigh Gorge State Park. We're going to get to that state park later in our 8-part series of exploring state parks in the Poconos on Pocono Television Network. But first, let's go check out these exhibits in this one-of-a-kind visitor center here at Hickory Run. All that's outside at Hickory Run State Park is inside the center, but with a lesson for visitors of any age. Diane Maddle is the environmental education specialist here. This takes you out into the park without actually having to go out into the park. Here we have Boulder Field.
Yeah, so a lot of our visitors might not be able to get out actually onto the boulders, so we do have a little wobble board for people to kind of get a feel for what it's like if they wanted to go out and experience Boulder Field without actually doing it.
Each exhibit is rich with information, close-ups of delicate ecosystems out there in the 16,000-acre park in Carbon County near Jim Thorpe and Lake Harmony, and a popular place for outdoor recreation amid the natural wonders like Hawk Falls.
We definitely want to make the connection of how you are connected to water and water is to us, and wanted to feature Hawk Falls, one of our most popular areas in the park. And of course, it's a beautiful trout stream down there at Mud Run, and how important the hemlocks are to keeping the water quality really pristine. You can see Hawk Falls throughout the seasons here. For folks, again, who might not be able to get down there in the winter, they might want to see what it looks like during the different times of the year.
Hickory Run has places to cool off in the heat of summer. Sand Spring Lake is right near family camping areas, and Shades of Death Trail, which sounds ominous, but is often right where Amanda Eager finds herself.
This is my happy place. I've only taken a few people here with me, one being my mom.
This winter hike provided some real wonder along the trail at the century-old dam from the Great Depression era, frozen in the cold. Perfect for a photo op. When warmer months arrive, the Shades of Death Trail has a cooling effect from rhododendron and hemlocks all around.
The main reason it's called Shades of Death, as far as I'm concerned, is because of the plants. Because in different sections, you're literally walking right under the darkness of the plants.
You get a similar experience on the way to Hawk Falls. The winding trail takes hikers to the foot of the 24-foot falls. Park rangers want to remind everyone this and other areas of Hickory Run or any other state park are special and should stay that way. So there's no swimming, there's no picnicking in this area. You can take all the pictures you want, but don't stack rocks, leave no trace, those sort of things people want to abide by, right?
That's correct, yeah. And you can picnic in parts of our park, just not here.
Check out how special this place is for so many. From a birthday hike for Carmen and her family posted to Instagram, or the Axenroth family celebrating Father's Day, and even furry friends joining Kira Nguyen and her family on the trails at Boulder Field. Hickory Run is where park manager Stacy Hall grew up.
It's great to be back. I am thrilled after 20 years with DCNR to be managing the resource that I grew up using.
If folks can hear that right now, we have a very picturesque waterfall just beside what a lot of people remark as being this beautiful natural setting and this chapel here. Can you tell us a little bit of the significance of what this chapel means to the greater park at Hickory Run?
Sure. So Hickory Run as a resource is very integrated with the cultural elements. There was the former town of Hickory Run in the mid-1800s, the chapel being one of the buildings that remains from that, along with the cemetery and the manor house up on the hill. So as visitors come, they get to hike on the trails. They're seeing the remnant dams from that old settlement village. So it's a nice combination of the cultural and the natural resources.
The history of Hickory Run runs deep. The 1800s saw timbering and mills. A century later, a wealthy general owned all this land until his death, when the National Park Service took it over, running Civilian Conservation Corps or CCC camps. Those remnants remain, and the park has been in the PA State Park system since 1945. But predating everything is perhaps the most unique feature of Hickory Run State Park, Boulder Field.
What makes this unique is just how large and expansive and uncovered. It's exposed. You see, there's no vegetation. It's just a field, like a carpet of rocks and boulders.
Boulders of all shapes and sizes for the length of 6 football fields, looking much this way for hundreds of thousands of years since the last ice age, and designated as a national natural landmark.
We highly recommend you get out into the middle, and that's when the truly large aspect of it, how expansive it is, really comes in, and you really feel it because you're just in the middle of this gigantic boulder field.
We did just that, and not just on this visit, but I was able to do it years ago with the family too, making memories just like countless others who have visited Hickory Run State Park and fallen in love with it over the years.
There's so much to see throughout the entire park. If you come here during our summer season, during the month of October, we get extremely busy as well. If you can't get to one parking lot, just go to the next, switch up your activities for the day. But I really suggest visiting here in all seasons. Come here in the wintertime, come in the spring, come in the fall. It is a different experience every time in what you're seeing throughout the park.
To learn more about Hickory Run State Park, head to PoconoTelevision.com. Thanks for exploring state parks in the Poconos with us. This has been Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
From how to relax
To what's on tap.
coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine. The newest spot on the Stroudsburg art scene will give you a tour inside, coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
More great stories on Pocono Mountains Magazine coming up. First, some Poconotables from across the region. The Delaware River has won River of the Year in Pennsylvania. The public voted for the contest, awarding the Delaware with the honors for the 3rd time now. Here in the Poconos, it's home to the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area and the Upper Delaware Scenic and Recreational River. And a River of the Year paddle will take place in June to celebrate.
Today I'm visiting 2 hotels that will make any vacation a memorable one.
NBC New York highlighted 2 historic boutique hotels in the Poconos, Hotel Faucher in Milford, a Gilded Age retreat for many elites, and Ledges Hotel in Hawley, a former glass cutting factory with delicious dining and gorgeous views.
Terry, this is crazy. This is beautiful.
And now, after your day of exploration, there's a new place of relaxation.
We found luxury in the heart of the Poconos. Let's check it out.
Speaking of boutique stays, CBS Philadelphia visited the Swiftwater for a look at the plunge pool suites, world-class dining, and fabulous finishes you'll find at the Poconos' newest luxury hotel.
Skytop Lodge has announced a big renovation project at its pool facility. Check out these renderings of the work that's getting underway already to modernize the beautiful indoor and outdoor pool at Skytop, and keep watch for the finished product. WNEP-TV featured 2 updates in the Poconos.
The property is not abandoned. We're here to take care of it. We're here to bring it back.
The former Sterling Inn is being brought back to life in Wayne County. A nonprofit is working to restore the property, which closed in 2012.
It would be a great idea to make sure that the trail is hikeable for the people that want to see our beautiful falls here. I mean, they are spectacular.
And Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro has proposed to reopen Glenanoco Falls in the Lehigh Gorge State Park. The area, under the Game Commission's watch, has been closed for safety reasons. Time will tell if the state will fund measures to reopen Glenanoco.
Celebrate our great restaurant scene and our chefs that make it happen during Restaurant Week.
Enjoy.
The Pocono Mountains is the best when it comes to creative food and beverage. Why not try something new? Or sample our international flavors and mountain favorites. These are the most delicious weeks of the year. You just have to know when it is. Visit PoconoMountains.com.
Hey everyone, it's Bree.
And Dee.
We are at the historic Shawnee Inn Golf Resort checking out the newly expanded spa experience you can have here as a day or overnight guest.
And a little bit later, we're gonna unwind in a different way right here on site. It's a girls' getaway.
And you're invited. So Jeremy, tell us about the newly expanded spa experience and what guests can expect there.
Yeah, we're so excited about the spa at the Shawnee Inn Golf Resort. It really makes it into a destination. We are a traditional spa and salon, so we do everything from hair, nails, makeup, full body massage, facials, manicures, pedicures, but we added some new treatments. We have a hot plunge, a cold plunge. We added a red light therapy and an infrared sauna. So what we're calling it is the circuit. You start the sauna, then you go into the cold plunge, the hot plunge, and then finish up with red light therapy.
And expanding that, have you seen destination spa getaways are really becoming popular?
Absolutely, and especially in this area. There are those shoulder seasons when guests need a reason to travel, right? And you know, girlfriend getaways, romantic getaways, it really is a wonderful opportunity to just add a reason to come to Shawnee.
And tell us a little bit about the Shawnee Inn and Golf Resort and what you offer here.
So we're a resort, we're built in 1911. In the summer, guests love our island golf course. In the winter, we're less than 4 miles from Shawnee Mountain. We're in the valley between the Appalachian Mountain Range and surrounded by the Delaware River. When you step on our front porch, you have that beautiful view of the river. In the summertime, it's magnificently clean, crystal clear. We have river trips, we have pontoon tours. Man, you have to see glamping and the view you wake up to. I mean, it truly is on the banks of the Delaware River.
Tell us about the rooms here.
No 2 rooms at the Shawnee Inn are alike. We have rooms spanning from traditional double-doubles to kings to suites to cottages. Really a kind of accommodation that would suit anyone's needs.
Now that we're relaxed from the spa, remember we told you we were gonna unwind in a different way?
That's what brings us to ShawneeCraft Brewery, just steps from the spa. Cheers.
Are you ready to lose? So tell us about the brewery here on site.
Our ShawneeCraft Brewery was actually introduced almost 16 years ago, and we brew our own beers right here on property. We've expanded the brewery to include a pizzeria. We had a pizza oven shipped from Italy. We have our outdoor beer garden, which is really one of our guest favorites during the summer. There's nothing like sitting out on our side lawn, playing yard games, drinking a beer, having some pizza and pretzels and chicken legs. It really is a place to be here at Shawnee.
So tell us about the golf course and the new bridge.
The new bridge is going to change the face of Shawnee. As everyone knows, our golf course is on an island in the middle of the Delaware River. Since the inception of our resort, over 100 years, our team was building our bridge in the spring and tearing it down in the fall. And this magnificent island, you just couldn't get out there unless it was in season. With the permanent bridge, we're now able to access the island year-round. We have tram tours, we have stargazing on our island, we have a Christmas tram tour, we have a harvest tour. It's part of our Halloween tram tour where you go onto the island. It really is incredible being able to access the island year-round, and when it's not snowy out, you can golf.
And when people play on the golf course here, they're really playing among legends who have played here over time.
Arnold Palmer met his first wife, Winnie, at Shawnee. 3 days later, he proposed, and Winnie didn't leave his side until she passed away.
Slammin' Sammy Snead of West Virginia.
We had Sam Snead here, the 38 PGA Championship. Jackie Gleason became a scratch golfer at Shawnee, and he summered here. He was in the Water Gap playing pool. As I understand it, he was quite the pool shark, but here is where he became a scratch golfer.
So people have different options of where to stay overnight. In the Poconos, we have a lot of golf courses, but it sounds like there's these really special touches at the Shawnee Inn Golf Resort when it comes to the resort, but also the golf course.
When we have those conversations about why people choose Shawnee, why our guests come here, it really is that authentic experience that you can't get anywhere else. And really, it's the sort of thing that you can't build. It's just innate within the location.
Here's to a great girls getaway. It's Bree
And Dee
with the Pocono Television Network.
Your special day curated just for you. Coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
This edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine is presented by St. Luke's Monroe Campus and East Stroudsburg University. Do you remember we told everybody about midweek deals?
Yes, but didn't everyone tell you? So what did we say?
Easy travel. Less traveling time, more fun time. Less people Monday through Friday. And all this at a great price. And easy to book.
Not bad.
I'm glad I thought of midweek deals. Our guests just love it.
We came up with midweek deals because we knew that your wallet needed a vacation too. Check out PoconoMountains.com/offers.
From skiing in the winter to riding the river in the summer, the Pocono Mountains is the place for your family to find adventure any time of the year. Book your trip by visiting PoconoMountains.com. When visiting downtown Stroudsburg, you'll notice all the vibrant murals and art galleries. And today we're introducing you to the newest art gallery on the scene, bringing together unique collections and community all under one roof while filling a void that existed in this part of the Poconos.
This piece is done with oil on canvas and gold leaf.
Courtney Nat shows off this painting of her partner, Sylvia, one of the many statement pieces on display at the gallery at 530 Main in downtown Stroudsburg.
And really it's just supposed to be showing her freedom of expression and just the freedom to be herself.
Courtney is one of 100 artists featured in the gallery's first ever show called Artists of the Poconos.
It's really about history, connection, culture, education, and it's an easier way to bridge people together when there's so many differences.
Dating back to 1906, this building served different purposes over time, most recently as headquarters for the former Pocono Arts Council. Instead of celebrating its 50th year of supporting and fostering the arts, the organization closed in late 2024 due to financial issues.
I call what I do photo art, but in essence, it's photo collage.
Jack Swersey, a well-known artist in the Poconos, works with the nearby Sherman Theater, who also owns this building, to keep a gallery going here. The backspace is shared with Into You Arts, which offers youth classes in music, art, and acting.
The Arts Council was always something that kind of focused on the community, and without that, I think people would have felt lost in the art world. So I think it was important that we stepped forward and continued the tradition of having a place to show local art.
The gallery at 530 Main will host different exhibits and shows throughout the year, featuring many mediums. Visitors can browse or buy the art. Many pieces have already found their new homes.
In fact, I just had to ship a painting to Omaha, Nebraska. So we are now a national organization.
So all of this is patterns to soften it.
Elizabeth Tilley is one of the founding committee members volunteering alongside Jack. After owning her own gallery in upstate New York, she eventually moved to downtown Stroudsburg to contribute and invest in the art scene here.
We go collaborative with the snowmen are bringing people in, and all the great restaurants, and we're just being in the thick of it is just perfect.
Elizabeth enjoys quilting and creating artwork with nostalgic value. This piece includes vintage tissue paper patterns, sheet music, and a frame sourced from an area antique shop.
To me, it's the beauty in the world, it's the love in the world, it's the connecting force in this world that we need so much. That's why my piece is called Remember Love.
Like paints on a palette, the artists and galleries in downtown Stroudsburg all work together. In addition to their involvement here, Courtney and her wife run Create and Be Studio, which celebrates diversity through art. They host unique shows like Black Culture in the Bergs and events for mental health awareness, Hispanic Heritage Month, and Rewind Karaoke, just to name a few.
A lot of people in my generation, they show their art online. So we're trying to bring them in person to show a different element of showing your artwork instead of just Instagram or Facebook. So you get that interaction, that connection with people.
I have always said that we have an incredible art community. The talent is immense. We're all one big family.
The sunset of one organization becoming the sunrise of another. I'm Brianna Strunk with the Pocono Television Network.
In a world where love is defined by grand gestures and large gatherings, they chose something different, an elopement. Quiet and intimate with a picturesque view, just the two of them. Meet Jackie and Josh. Their love story feels like the invisible string theory. They grew up a block apart, went to the same schools, 2 grades apart, and shared many mutual connections, yet didn't meet until years later when the time was right. After dating, they got engaged. Jackie wanted to run away and elope. She wanted something simple and intimate. Josh wanted something bigger. After some convincing, they chose to elope, and after some research, discovered Jim Thorpe Elopements.
Initially, we reached out to them, and immediately, it was the connection was perfect.
Many brides feel overwhelmed on their special day, but Jim Thorpe Elopements took that stress away for Jackie.
Basically, there's 3 choices, an A, B, and a C. So they had packages, which I appreciated. Everything from the hair, the makeup, the flowers. You got to choose the cake, the flavor of the cake. Everything was very simple to choose from.
Jim Thorpe Elopements removes the guesswork by tailoring each couple's day to reflect their unique story. They offer a personal, intimate experience for couples who want to elope instead of having a traditional wedding.
Every collection comes with photography by us, a cake. We actually team up with 2 bakers in the local area. We have a team of officiants as well, a florist, and a hair and makeup artist.
And it also comes with champagne flute, so they get to cheers and celebrate after their ceremony as well.
Leading up to it, we did video chats with the officiant. They were okay, what style officiant do you want? Do you want a spiritual? Do you just want the basics, you want to write your own vows? They let us choose how we wanted our day to go, the flow of everything.
And based on what our answers were, they recommended Pastor Tom, which was an excellent choice.
Before any ceremony, Pastor Tom from Pocono Weddings LLC meets with each couple prior to their special day to see what they're looking for and to see if they're a good fit.
We try to build special things into the service for them. One of the things that they asked for was, we called it a cord of 3 strands, where together as part of their service, they were braiding these 3 cords to show their commitment to each other. And then we bound that cord around them. It's called a Celtic binding.
Jim Thorpe Elopements even helped with where Jackie and Josh stayed and had their first look. They suggested the Y on Broadway, which is exactly what Jackie and Josh were looking for.
They had a couple of requests. They got ready in a rustic room. We were able to give them access to the balcony of our King Suite, which is a private balcony overlooking Broadway with magnificent views, and they were able to do their first look there.
One beautiful touch was that they got ready in the same room, but didn't see each other until their first look.
I was facing away towards the wall, and she was supposed to come behind me, which awesome picture. He didn't tell me to turn around. I didn't know, or if he did, I was so nervous. I mean, I'm really glad we got to do that.
Being a part of Jackie and Josh's day, everything kind of just fell into place.
It was incredibly perfect, honestly.
What was really important to Jackie and Josh for their elopement when choosing where they wanted to do it was the photos. They wanted beautiful scenic backdrops and fun shots through the town. Preston and Lorette delivered just that. Whether it was the intimate details of their ceremony or the way their personalities shone through every moment, it was clear that Jim Thorpe Elopements had truly captured their vision for the perfect day. Consider planning your special day here in the Pocono Mountains. I'm Deanna Fontanez with the Pocono Television Network. Farm-to-table dining plus a true commitment to sustainability at this amazing Poconos resort coming up.
We hope you enjoy these experiences as much as we do. Pocono Mountains Luxury Resorts. Luxury Unlimited. Find it at PoconoMountains.com.
Get ready for Kalahari's Food and Not Just Wine Festival, coming Sunday, April 13th to the Pocono Mountains. Experience the best of Kalahari dining, sip delicious drinks, enjoy live music, and more. Get your tickets at KalahariResorts.com/festival.
Woodloch Resort is dedicated to delivering unforgettable experiences to their guests while preserving the natural beauty around them. As sustainability becomes crucial, Woodloch is amplifying their efforts to reduce their ecological footprint. One example, farm-to-table dining. Let's take a look at where it all comes from. We're here at Blackmore Farm, just down the road from the lodge, where you'll find many of the things on the dishes on the menus at Tree right here in this greenhouse. We're here with Derek, who's going to tell us a little bit about what you guys do here.
We're sitting in the middle of basically an April, May kind of feel, even though it's the winter outside. The heated high tunnels in here, not technically greenhouses, because we are gardening right in the ground. Basically a little greenhouse hat on top of it.
Not many places have the capability to grow crops year-round, but here at Woodloch, they found a way. Blackmore Farm was named after a former property owner, Charlie Blackmore, who started a garden on the property about 80 years ago, which prepared the land and allowed Woodloch to build the farm they have today. The crops grown are mainly for the restaurant at the lodge, but if there's excess, they share it with the other properties. The farmers keep in constant communication with the chefs to create specials and curate dishes depending on what's available that day.
One of our better crops, I would say, is just the experiences that we have with guests in here. Teaching classes, we can come in here and kind of showcase these things.
So the guests can come down, do tours, and do classes right in here.
Yeah. We do a harvest class once a week where there's guests taking home big old bags of produce and on their way to cook it themselves. So whether it's that or putting on a cooking demo myself, or sometimes our farm-to-table lunches and dinners that we're doing in the garden, just putting some of this food on a pedestal, telling the story is a big part of it.
In the high tunnels, a wide range of crops are grown, allowing for harvests months ahead of outdoor growing seasons. The tunnels maintain a balanced environment with 6 months of summer-like temperatures and 6 months of spring, creating ideal conditions for all year growing. They also grow a variety of produce outdoors, taking advantage of the natural seasons.
A large farm with a lot of diversity. We have our vegetable garden that's instant gratification, right? You're putting seeds in the ground, getting fruit, right away, and you have the orchard down below.
Woodloch's composting system, one of the largest in the area, recycles about 200 pounds of food scraps daily from the restaurant to provide rich, sustainable nutrients for their crops. I feel like it's very important for people nowadays to know where their food came from and the sources it came from. So it's nice to see where it starts, how you guys plant it, how you take care of it, and then the whole regeneration of it, I guess you would say.
Yeah, there's some security, I think, in knowing where your food comes from.
Thank you so much for having me today. I'm gonna take a tour of the rest of the property and see what other green things you guys have around.
Awesome, I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. Woodloch is leading the way in sustainable tourism. Let's explore what else they're doing to make a positive impact.
The combination of luxury and a green initiative sometimes can be challenging because you do not want to sacrifice quality. However, we've found ways to combine both. All the faucets throughout the entire property are filtered water. When our guests check in, they're given a recyclable bottle as opposed to buying water bottles throughout that they can reuse, and they can refill those bottles anywhere throughout the property. One of our signature products at our spa facility is rosemary mint. So that rosemary mint, both come from the garden on this property, are utilized in producing our signature scent, if you will, throughout the property. So there is a purpose for almost every move that we've made, especially at the lodge at Woodloch. Our initiatives carry through to our family resort golf course as well. For example, all the chemicals that we use on the golf course itself are organic.
Woodloch combines nature and sustainability with energy-efficient practices, eco-friendly dining, and waste reduction, all while letting guests relax and reconnect with minimal impact. I'm Deanna Fontanez with the Pocono Television Network.
I love the river, and it's a resource that we use in our livelihood. You can't keep taking from a resource without giving something back. This is our way of giving back.
That was the kind of person Ruth Jones was, living out her 92 years on the Delaware River and making sure it looks the way nature intended. The matriarch of the former owners of Kittatinny Canoes has taken her final river trip, but not before leaving a legacy of stewardship for this river and Poconos region.
And when I'm not here anymore, if I go upstairs, I'm going to look for a river to clean up.
Ruth Jones was known as the River Queen of the Delaware, and for good reason. Raised on the river by her parents, pioneers in the river trip industry.
I was an only child and grew up on the river, and that's where I played. It was my playground, my playmate, my best friend.
Ruth grew up during a time of protests against the proposed Tox Island Dam. They stopped the dam, but the Jones family had to relocate upriver to what would be one of the Kittatinny bases of operations all these years, in Matamoras, where Brianna Strunk spoke with her in 2021. It was for the 31st on and under the Delaware River cleanup, which Ruth Jones started decades earlier.
I've always paddled on the river, but every time I've paddled, if I saw a piece of trash, I picked it up. I says, there's so much trash out there and I can't handle it all. It's beyond me. We need to do something about it because no one had ever cleaned the river. I says, but if we're going to do it, let's do it right. So we started the first cleanup in 1990.
The event grew with volunteers, year after year.
And on the 4th year, we removed 1,004 tires. Isn't that amazing?
More amazing was the fleet of men and women and children Ruth Jones was able to grow through the years, each finding a love of the river just like hers.
And now we have the same volunteers that come every year. It's like a giant reunion. I mean, you should really talk to some of the volunteers, especially when they come off the river to see what they brought in.
The on and under the Delaware River cleanup will continue on long after Ruth Jones' life of work to pick up these pristine waters. She wouldn't want it any other way.
Anytime you go paddling, bring out trash with you. Keep the river clean, because if we keep the river clean annually, people will have a tendency not to throw trash in it. And it is squeaky clean now.
Ruth Jones, River Queen of the Delaware. If you're interested in carrying on her legacy, watch for ways to sign up for the Ruth Jones annual On and Under the River cleanup at Kittatinny.com. Or join Pick Up the Poconos to celebrate Earth Day, April 26, 2025. Go to pickupthepoconos.com. This has been Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network. Still to come on Pocono Mountains Magazine, we're going to show you how a new trail in the Hawley area connects trails out at Lake Wallenpaupack to this area, downtown Hawley, and beyond.
One of Pennsylvania's oldest African-American churches is now open to the public. We'll give you a look inside, coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
At East Stroudsburg University, you will study with cutting-edge technology. You can perform in the classroom, field, or stage. You'll get involved on campus and off. You can have fun preparing for your future.
The headlines are heart-wrenching. Crews recover body of missing swimmer. Drowning victim did not wear a life jacket. You don't think it can happen to you. The river looks calm, but the current is a killer if you don't wear a life jacket. Swimming, floating, fishing, boating, wear it. The life you save could be yours. Don't fall victim to drowning. Wear a life jacket. Hi everyone, it's Jim Hamble, and we all know and love Lake Wallenpaupack here in any season. In winter, yes, it's frozen over, and these trails are open for the most part. The lake trail here along the dike leads past the Lake Wallenpaupack Visitor Center, through Wilsonville Campground, past the high school, into the Creek Trail, which comes down from the hydroelectric dam. And in 2025, there's a new trail connecting this trail, the Creek Trail, and the Hawley trails all the way out to Lock 31. So we wanted to give you a little introduction to the Gorge Trail. Come on along. Here I am walking on the newly forged Gorge Trail here in Hawley. I'm joined with Molly Rogers and Grant Genslinger, part of the Lackawaxen River Trails group that has sought to create more of these trails. And this is a finished product ready to open in the spring of 2025. How excited are you to have this as something that connects the trails at the lake with the trails in downtown Hawley, Grant?
I think it's a wonderful thing. It's been a long time coming. Anytime you're able to complete something that adds a public amenity outdoors for people for health is a great thing.
This nearly 2-mile trail has been in the works for years, winding its way between Hawley and the lake. State grants helped make the Gorge Trail a reality.
We were just persistent, and it paid off, and I think everybody's going to love this.
We should make note to folks, this is not an easy trail. This is an uphill, tough terrain type of trail, so you got to be prepared when you go out on it.
And it's not, I mean, some of the trails that we've done so far has been handicapped accessible. Sure. This one is not handicapped accessible. I mean, there are rough spots, there are routes that you have to walk over or watch for, so it is a challenging trail.
And just looking ahead here,
it's like an Appalachian trail, not a town trail.
If you're going from Hawley, you're going up to the lake, you're going uphill. If you're coming from the lake and the creek trail and the dam, it's an easier descent.
I think the vertical rise is 900 feet, so if you think of that.
Climbing up the Gorge Trail, we continue to talk about the importance of this relatively small connector in terms of distance, while realizing the large impact it has on the Pocono Mountains and outdoor recreation.
You're right that there has been a lack of publicly accessible trails and parks for the whole region of Wayne and Pike County. It's kind of surprising. Up until recently with our work on the Lackawaxen River, there was no public access to the Lackawaxen River. The trails are the same thing. There's just has not been enough of them that are in close proximity to where people live. So to have this connectivity that winds through communities is just really remarkable. So I think it's a great asset for our community.
On one end, the Gorge Trail meets the Wallenpaupack Creek Trail, taking hikers along the hydroelectric dam and the massive pipe that carries water to the power plant. On the other end, the Gorge Trail also meets the Hawley Park trails, including at Riverside Park, along the levee, and through town for roughly 7 miles from the lake to Lock 31. We've now reached Lock 31 and the D&H Canal Park here with the canal boat replica and the lock house. This is such a historic trail to walk on all the way from up at Lake Wallenpaupack through downtown Hawley and here to Lock 31. To find out more, head to Lackawaxenrivertrails.org. This has been Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
It's a monumental day at this historic church in the Poconos and for the dozens of dedicated volunteers who have worked for decades to open these doors to the public. And that time has finally come. Yay! After 20 years of hard work, 83-year-old Gloria Finch had one more job to do.
I don't believe it's really here.
With the cut of a ribbon, Little Bethel African Methodist Episcopal is now serving the community once again. Known as one of Pennsylvania's oldest black churches, the landmark on North 3rd Street in Stroudsburg is now home to a museum and lending library.
We're hoping that this will become a community space that is as beloved as it was many years ago.
After serving in the Civil War, the church was built in 1868 by members of the United States Colored Troops, a branch of the Union Army. Some of those members are credited with pursuing President Lincoln's assassin and leading his funeral procession. Little Bethel AME flourished among its congregation of free yet segregated Native and African Americans.
This neighborhood itself was, I wouldn't say designated, but it was an area that African Americans lived in. So it was to their advantage to have a structure that they could come to, worship at, serve at, and do other things that communities normally do.
The church eventually fell into disrepair, and there were talks of tearing it down. The Stroudsburg Little Bethel Historical Association formed in 2002, and volunteers have worked ever since to save the building and its rich history.
It took a long time. New roof, new floor, new walls. Electricity had to be put in.
And bathrooms, a major project that Gloria proudly took the lead on.
I know what it was when there were outdoor bathrooms. And I'm that old. And they said, all right, you come in, you make sure that the bathroom takes place and is a connected bathroom.
Little Bethel AME is open to the public every Tuesday from 12 to 3 and by special request. The space features a diverse collection of books written by or about African Americans. Visitors can also check out slideshows, old articles, and photos.
There are so many people who never saw this completed, people who, how should I say, but had faith. There are people who recognize what this place is, and it means something to us all. It means something to everyone. I am so pleased.
A new chapter in preserving history and sharing stories of the past. I'm Brianna Strunk with the Pocono Television Network.
Hi, I'm Gary C. from Poco 103 Radio, and coming up on the Pocono Mountains Magazine is a preview of Pocono Showcase with the great Regina Sales.
So I will fight for this love, tear down the city and rebuild the walls, be the light for this love.
Complex conditions of the nervous system require extraordinary care. At St. Luke's, it begins with a compassionate team of neurosurgeons with incredible skill sets and advanced level practitioners experienced in caring for patients with conditions of the brain and spine. A neurosurgery visit does not always mean surgery is the only option. And when surgery is the best option, St. Luke's offers minimally invasive neurosurgical approaches. St. Luke's, the neurosurgical care you trust, now more than ever.
Embark on a journey of luxury.
A new level of sophistication.
Where?
In the Pocono Mountains.
The Lodge at Woodloch. Elegance defined.
The Swiftwater, a new and exciting addition to the luxury collection.
The picturesque French Manor. The iconic Mount Airy Casino Resort.
The Grand Lady of the Pocono Mountains, Skytop Lodge.
The Pocono Mountains Luxury Resorts Collection at PoconoMountains.com.
Here's a sneak peek from the Pocono Showcase with Regina Sales on the Pocono Mountains Magazine.
Baby, what's been going on? Why's your world turned upside down tonight? I know you're thinking about leaving. We can figure this out. It'll be alright. I know you're scared, 'cause in your head you're running, but I'm so right here. Don't tell me that you know me the way I know myself. I know that I love you and I don't want no one else. Don't make this any harder than it has to be, 'cause running ain't for you and me. Everyone's giving up these days. Oh, it's all the fashion, yeah, it's all the rage. Maybe that's the easy way out, but it's not how I want to spend the rest of my days. I'll admit I'm scared, but how could you leave me when I'm standing right here? Don't tell me that you know me the way I know myself. I know that I love you and I don't want no one else. Don't make this any harder than it has to be, 'cause running ain't for you and me. It's easier to go than to stay, then give you my heart so you could take it away. I love it, so leaving's no excuse. Suck it up, baby, 'cause we've got work to do. Don't tell me that you know me the way I know myself. I know that I love you and I don't want no one else. Don't make this any harder than it has to be, 'cause running don't tell me that you know me the way I know myself. I know that you love me and you love no one else. Don't make this any harder than it has to be, 'cause running yeah, running ain't for you and me. It ain't for you and me.
The Poconos seems to be a hotbed for musicians. There's so many musicians here who get so much work. What is it about the Poconos that attracts such talent? What do you suppose it is?
I think
it's not like that everywhere.
It's not. I think it's two things. This was a resort town, back in the 70s, big time. It still is. Very much so. I think even more now than it was in the previous 10 years, to be honest. But I think especially starting back in like the 70s, there were a lot of these resorts that would hire these huge bands to come and play. And while you don't have like the clubs that have the big bands as much anymore, that's kind of pared down a little bit. There's still a big music scene playing a lot of the resorts. And I've played pretty much all of them, honestly, over the years. And then also because it's a college town. So I think it's those two things combined, because I started playing out when I was in college at ESU and just kind of stuck and have made like a great community. I actually was like the only single female woman who was doing it forever. And now there's a couple other women in the scene, and I'm like so happy we have our little girls club now. So it's great.
Have you played all across the country?
I have. Mostly, every year I try to get out and do a tour. Last year I was to Wisconsin and back. The year before that was to Colorado and back, and then Florida and back. So I try to get out of this state. I love to play my local stuff, and I'm always super grateful for all of the local gigs that I have. But I do like to get out once or twice a year and do some sort of tour.
Dream last night, I'm not sure I'm gonna wake up I remember blonde hair and rhinestones and a gorgeous face of makeup. I think I was home in Ohio at the Seneca County Fair. My brain's trying to make the pieces fit of who, what, when, and where. I walked through the barns of lifestyle in my cowboy boots. I never got used to the smell of pigs. I'm suddenly standing in the bleachers. The tractor pulls about to start, and there she's standing in front of me. Be still, my heart. Now I'm blushing in the bathroom mirror. My palms are starting to sweat. Splashing cold water on my face. Think I need a cigarette. I know she's happily married, and she don't swing my way. But I was making sweet love to Dolly last night. We were rolling in the hay. I know what you all are thinking. I'm just as embarrassed as you. It's Dolly Parton, people. A songwriter's dreams come true. Now maybe this inspiration, a kind of admiration unseen. Or maybe I'm a cheating hussy, and you should call me Jolene. Now I'm blushing in the bathroom mirror. My palms are starting to sweat. Splashing cold water on my face. Think I need a cigarette. I know she's happily married, and she don't swing my way. But I was making sweet love to Dolly last night, rolling in the hay. Hey, hey, rolling in the hay. Gonna take it as a sign from Dolly. Every time I see red heels, I'm gonna walk a little taller, act a little kinder, forgive a little faster, love a little harder, pray a little longer. Yeah, you better get to living. Now I'm blushing in the bathroom mirror. My palms are starting to sweat. Splashing cold water on my face. Think I need a cigarette. I know she's happily married. She don't swing my way. But I was making sweet love to Dolly last night, rolling in the hay. Making sweet love to Dolly last night, rolling in the hay. Hey, hey, rolling in the hay.
Please excuse the pun, but yes, that was another great Pocono showcase that rocks. We are so thankful that you joined us here on another edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine. Again, we are embarking on a great series of exploration of state parks in the Poconos. We started here at Hickory Run State Park. Next month in April, we're going to visit Tobyhanna State Park. And then over the course of the next 7 months, plenty more parks all throughout the Pocono Mountains. Please join us for another Pocono Mountains Magazine next month. Thanks for watching.